97M Radio brings to you the best of 7 sports talk with 7 Mitchell.
Let's get right into it, man. Let's get into this NBA thing with LeBron James. Now, you and I talked last week in the buy-sell segment when I threw the whole scenario of LeBron getting traded. I knew it kind of blew your mind, but we got these reports this week that, you know, Jeanie Buss kind of considered this move. What's your thoughts after we kind of just talked about this last week?
Yeah, I was surprised last week. I'm not surprised anymore. It's looking more and more like a possibility as time goes by, at least exploring the possibility. The actual possibility of it happening may not be that high at the moment, but the possibility of exploring the option is pretty much not even a possibility anymore. It's probably going to happen.
But see, here's the thing with me. LeBron James, he doesn't have a no-trade clause in his contract, but he does have sort of this thing where as though it's like a 15% tax agreement, where as though if they trade LeBron, whatever team that they decide to trade him to has to pay an additional like $15 million. So his base salary go from like 30 something to like 42 million if he gets traded. And the crazy thing about this whole 3-4 year contract has basically turned into a one and done, because next year everything is on the line. If LeBron and them don't make a massive move in his second season, he'll then be in his 17th, 18th season, and I think he'll be expendable at that point. But someone is going to have to pay LeBron $40-something million in his 18th season. I think that's crazy.
I wasn't used to that amount of attention, you know, from playing basketball. I wanted a place where I could talk to my friends without anybody just butting in my conversations or mixing my words or taking everything out of context, because I enjoyed that place.
That would be a trip if the Lakers wouldn't be able to get rid of him due to this due to his contract, and that, like you say, 15% kicker in his contract. That would just be something that I don't think anybody envisioned last summer.
Not at all.
That would definitely be a shocker to the sports world, because LeBron James was known as the best basketball player in the world. What was this, March? So 7 months ago, he was known as the best player in the world.
I mean, LeBron is, wait a minute. Come on, Mike. LeBron is still the best basketball player. He's still averaging 28, 8, and 8. I mean, I'm not denying what his greatness is individually. I mean, the team, we can go all day talking about the Lakers' demise. I'm not putting it all on LeBron James. His numbers still stand out. Who's the best player in the NBA if it's not LeBron? Are you going to tell me Kevin Durant?
I don't know who the best player in the league is, to be honest with you. Not right now. Not right now. I used to think it was LeBron, but at the moment, I don't know, man. I don't even know who the best player is. I don't know. Maybe Russell Westbrook. I'm not sure, man.
Oh, no way. No way. No way. Not better than LeBron.
Russell Westbrook is good, man.
Yeah, he's good. But he might not even be the best player on his team. You know, Paul George has been talking about MVP conversation this year.
Right. But I think the reason I mentioned Russell Westbrook, though, is because he is so good of a player that he understands that he has to take a back seat to Paul George in a lot of aspects of the game. So I guess I'm giving a lot of credit to him for his intelligence.
Too much, and too much credit. To be honest, you're giving Westbrook, you're giving him entirely too much credit, because I just don't think he's that guy. I don't think you can. Maybe you can build a team around him, but I don't think he's that guy that can lead a team to the promised land. I mean, he can average a triple-double, but I don't think he's going to be able to get a team to the NBA Finals without another superstar.
Well, is there anybody in the league who could lead a team to a championship without another superstar right now, though? LeBron James. That guy from Akron. He can lead a team to a championship by himself without another superstar.
To the championship series, he did it last year with Cleveland.
LeBron turned the corner inside. He made Yusuf Nurkic's screensaver. 15-14. The Kevlar bench is going nuts. LeBron James with a dance to the hoop control. He
Okay, I misunderstood you then. I thought you said to a championship, not to the finals.
Well, you mean to a win? I mean, depending on who they playing. I mean, you would have to give the team a shot if they make it that far. So if he get into the finals, as long as it's not Golden State, I would give him a shot to get it done with the team he had last year.
I don't know, man. I don't know if there's anybody in the league right now who could lead a team to the championship without another superstar on their team. I think there's too many teams out there with multiple superstars for just one person to do it nowadays.
I respect that.
That's the Lakers' conundrum.
True.
Yeah, and that's the Lakers' conundrum. They cannot. It's going to be hard for them to get another superstar. Like, who wants to go and play with LeBron?
They 31-38. It's about 13 games left in the season. They about 8.5 games back of the final playoff spot. They are going to make history. They are going to make history. We will see LeBron and the Lakers in the playoffs. I don't know how. I know everybody's done for the year, seems like. Someone is going to fall off. I don't know if it's going to be the Clippers. I don't know if it's going to be the Jazz. I don't know if it's going to be the Spurs. Someone is going to have like a 6, 7, 8 game losing streak before the season is in. The Lakers will find their way with a small chance to get into the playoffs. If that happens, that will definitely attract someone to come to LA next year, because LeBron is definitely going to make sure that this whole thing that we see right now in LA is not going to be the same next season, because it's do or die for him next year. Everything is on the line for LeBron James in the second year, because if they go through the same experience, Jeanie and them is definitely going to have to try to trade him. But who's going to want to trade him? Who's going to want to pick him up with all that money? I don't know, but I hope that
I don't know of anybody who would take that risk on an old man.
Wow.
In a young man's sport, you know.
Wow, this is the best player. This is the best player in the
He's not an old man. He's not an old man, of course. You know, not in reality. He's a young man in reality. But in NBA years, he's 17 years old, like 17-year career by the end of next year. Like, that's a long time in the league, man.
That's a long time. But I think that we got to also highlight that it's a long time at that elite level. Vince Carter he said he's playing next year, so that's going to be his 22nd season. Vince Carter played 22 years. Dirk has played 20 years. LeBron has just played at this elite level for so long. But we also got to take in consideration, people always say, yeah, 17 years is a long time. 16 seasons is a long time. This is not your average NBA player or athlete we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who's like a freak of nature. So what the normal athlete can pretty much take in and dish out, LeBron is like 2-3 times that. So for him to be able to play in his 18th, 19th, 20 years in a high level, I can still see it happening, because he's not your average type of athlete that would burn out like a Kobe or a Shaq. You know, LeBron really took care of himself.
The reach I'm talking about, that is incredible.
Kuzma can't finish, but James most certainly can.
And so I can see him having some good years after this year if the Lakers don't make the playoffs. They may want to consider purposely not making the playoffs this year. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, you know, like who purposely loses. But they may want to consider that, man, just to give LeBron some extra rest, because the dude has been playing basketball 365 days a year for probably 30 years now, you know what I mean? And he could probably use a rest, and he could probably come back a little bit refreshed next year and probably still be a pretty good player in his 17th season. But if the Lakers end up making the playoffs this year and they actually advance to like the second round or something, that's just going to put more wear and tear on LeBron and make it worse for him next year, I think, personally. Because LeBron doesn't really take breaks. He's been in the finals so many times. He goes to every, all the Olympic trials and, you know, Olympic tryouts and Olympic games. And it's just nonstop for LeBron from June to June, it seems like, for years upon years. And he is a freak of nature, so he has been able to do that type of thing. But I think it would be beneficial for the Lakers not to make the playoffs for LeBron's playing career, if as far as the level of play that he plays at. I don't know if it'd be good for him for his career as far as you know, attracting another superstar to the team or his reputation, but I think it would help him as far as his health is concerned and his level of play. So I think it depends on whether they make the playoffs this year or not, as far as his level of play next year. So, but I personally don't see them making the playoffs this year, even though they have a few easy games here in the last 15 games. But it's the Lakers, man. They play the Knicks tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So, like, the Lakers, they're going to have to be ready to play the hardest basketball of the day at 9 a.m. their time. And, you know, we'll see if they're really ready to play at that high level tomorrow morning. I know they should beat the Knicks, but we'll see if they beat them because they play them so early.
One thing I think we got to take in consideration, I'm not really praising this, but LeBron took off a lot when it came to the defensive end of the floor. So I think LeBron throughout this regular season was really pacing himself. LeBron is smart. LeBron knows what he's doing. You know, LeBron wasn't that elite on the defensive end simply because I think he was pacing himself and reserving some of that energy for a possible postseason run. I don't think LeBron is losing gas. He's averaging 28, 8, and 8. I don't see. I mean, that's it, and that just goes to show how great he is, because people feel like he's falling off. But these are the same numbers that he had last year. Same numbers.
Same night you fed or what? New art pack in the air, this gas or what? He'll still be alive right now if you ain't gas him up. Give my shorty stingers and guns, I tell them slide for nothing. Everybody with this gang so they ain't dying for nothing. If she don't on the first night, off the rip, I ain't buying her nothing. If I ain't got time for loving my kids, then I ain't got time for nothing. Then I slide home to my that made no time for colors. Why these think they safe? Cause they locked in. Man, we thought this was over since some shots. You think you safe when you went out west, look, just popped in. I know some killers from out west, they keep them Glocks. Knowing they killer on the loose, they throw my vibe off. You lighting candles on that main street, watch that side block.